Brazil just held the largest summit in history, with leaders of every important country going there. If you don't know, the G20 Summit took place over the last 2 days, and I'm going to cover everything that happened which is worth knowing about. The first thing to note is that the US President Joe Biden missed the photo with all of the world leaders. In fact, the world leaders didn't even notice that he was missing, and they walked off not caring. Although now we know that the reason he was missing was because he was in a meeting with the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Now, what they spoke about in their meeting is obviously unknown, except it must have been important because the meeting went on for so long that they missed this group photo. The next thing to know is that for the first time since 2018, the Chinese President Xi Jinping met with the leader of the UK, which is at the moment Keir Starmer. But it's worth knowing that Keir Starmer decided to use this really important meeting to confront Xi Jinping about human rights violations within China, rather than speaking to China about them supporting wars going on in the world. And this really wasn't a good look for Keir Starmer, especially after Xi Jinping basically ignored him when they first met and shook hands. Now, Keir Starmer also had a meeting with the Indian Prime Minister Modi, and in that meeting they announced plans to relaunch trade talks between both the UK and India. But something I will add is that the West and the UK doesn't really have the best relations with India at the moment. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you would know that India funded the building of Iran's largest shipping port. And the reason they did that was to be able to increase the amount of trade they can do with countries like Russia. And so it's obvious that the West doesn't support India doing this because those countries are the West's enemies. The next point is that all of the world leaders who attended the summit each held meetings between each other. And some of the notable meetings was British Prime Minister Keir Starmer meeting with the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. And in fact, they sat down in the evening and had a glass of champagne together and they spoke for hours. And the Italian Prime Minister met with the Indian Prime Minister and they spoke about, quote, deepening relations in areas such as defence, security, trade and technology. Finally though, something worth knowing, if you've been watching my videos for a while, you would know that Russian President Putin cancelled his trip to Brazil, so he didn't attend this G20 summit. Now the reason for why he didn't attend is unknown, except he did say that his presence at the summit would, quote, wreck it. But instead, Russia just sent their foreign minister Sergei Lavrov to represent Russia at the summit. But anyways, you can leave me a follow for some more global news like this.